All right, I think we're live. I think it's working. And as you saw on my fancy little Make It Big app, I always have people ask me what you use to do that. It's just called Make It Big. I think it's free in the App Store. I use it often for making videos. Just made one actually a little bit ago to load up for my weekly email that I send on Friday mornings. And normally I actually send it on Friday morning, but I scheduled it this morning because I'm thinking ahead because I will be flying back from the Build conference. I'm right now in my hotel room at the Gaylord Hotel in Dallas for the Build conference, which has been amazing and which wraps up today. It wraps up today with none other than Tony Robbins. So in how many hours? 5.5 hours, 4.5 hours, something like that. That is going to be incredible. I've read Tony's books, or at least many of them. I've participated in a lot of different things that he has online. Never had the pleasure of being live at an event with Tony. So that's going to be really awesome. As promised earlier in the week, it's Texting Thursday. I intended to go live on Tuesday, and it just didn't match up between trying to get checked into the room and being rerouted. The original room didn't work. Anyway, we're live now. That's all that matters. And it is Texting Thursday, and it does look like we're working. That the streaming is working. But I want to start with a couple of takeaways so far from this event because I think they're be helpful and useful to everyone here. Before we do that, though, do me a huge favor. Do me a huge favor. If you're excited about some of these takeaways and then digging into Texting Thursday, do me a solid and like. Or if you are on YouTube, subscribe and turn on smash the bell to turn on notifications. If you're watching on LinkedIn, like, or maybe even do the celebrate emoji. So one of the takeaways I actually mentioned yesterday in a short little live video, which is the fact that pretty much everybody who's been on stage so far in this conference has a coach or coaches or mentor or mentors that have helped them get to where they're at, right? And I won't belabor that point. You can go find my live from yesterday if you want more on that, okay? I mean, it's kind of obvious, right? It's kind of obvious. If you're trying to get somewhere that you've never been before, why not get the help of somebody who has been to that place? The second thing that really stood out for me yesterday was a presentation by a guy by the name of Blake Corey. Blake Corey runs a super successful team on the West Coast in California. And this is something that I've kind of, it's been something important to me. It's been a message that I've shared many times, but I think it bears, repeating again, was that they don't do anything in their business when it comes to production. So selling homes that isn't scalable and scalable and can be sort of built so for example, the antithesis of what they don't do any door knocking, right? They don't do any cold calling. They don't do that kind. Everything they're doing has got to be scalable and predictable. That was the other word I was looking for. A little bit foggy. It's been late nights here having some good times. So scalable and predictable. And so for example, if you look at the link in the description is to a platform called Street Text. And if you've been watching any of these, I talk about Street Text a lot. It's a platform I've been using since the springtime, and I absolutely love it. In fact, that I used it this morning to create campaigns for one of the new listings that I had go live this morning. I've already generated several leads from that new ad campaign from this morning, and it was so stinking easy to get that live. Right. And so Street Text is an example of a scalable, predictable tool that I use and recommend and isn't reliant upon my manual efforts. It isn't reliant upon me making a bunch of dials. It isn't reliant upon me, going and knocking on the doors of everybody in the neighborhood of that listing. So having scalable and predictable tools and systems in your business, it's critical to have a steadily growing business, right? A business that is steadily increasing over time, where your activities are compounding over time, right? Because unfortunately, I think many of you probably have experienced this. The way you're generating business is a hamster on a wheel, or you running on a treadmill. When you stop, it stops. And if you deploy and employ scalable, predictable tools like Street Text, and many others that I am using, you can compound over time. And so last year, for example, I sold 30 homes, 0 to 30. I literally closed 0 transactions in 2019. That's slightly untrue. I sold a couple of properties personally. They were personal investments for me, but I did no transactions with clients in 2019. In 2020, went from 0 to 30. In 2021, it will look like, I don't know, I'm still shooting for 65. It'll probably be more like in the 50s. And it's from compounding efforts, steadily adding new leads and prospects into my database, and adding on new systems and tools, etc. In fact, I wasn't even gonna share this, but if you are interested, I've actually earlier in the week, partly on the flight, actually it was all on the flight, I was putting together a document from a conversation I had last week with another person in my organization, with all of the tools and systems and resources that I am using to create those compounding results. What I'm using and what's working right now. And if you'd like a copy of that, it's just a Google Doc. If you'd like that, either comment below or send me a private message, or even shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to share that document with you. And you can kind of swipe and deploy any of those resources for yourself. So that was the other big one. And the last thing I'll share, and this is just something that I continue to be reminded of and need to be reminded of, is just to think bigger. Actually, I have a bonus one too. To think bigger, to not allow, not put false sort of barriers on what you are capable of doing in your business, right? Now, you may not be able to create some wild result in the next 90 days, but you can start on the path to creating that result. One of so my senior business partner, Bob, spoke yesterday, and one of the quotes he had up on one of his slides was that I'm going to forget it. James, maybe you can help me. So I've got one of my business partners sharing the room with me at the event. But it's something along the lines of that your story isn't real, right? Like that the story you're telling yourself right now, you probably believe in one form or another, but it's not real, right? You can recreate your story just by changing your thinking. And I butchered that a little bit. I'll find the actual quote because it was pretty good. I'll put it in the comments. But the last thing I wanted to mention as a bonus was having a plan. Having a target, and a big target is one thing, but if you don't have the plan to back it up, and you don't know how you're going to accomplish that. In fact, that was one of the things that I was doing a little bit last night, was mapping out my plan for the remainder of the year, next year, and the next 3 to 5 years. And what I'll spend a lot of time on the plane ride home is filling that in with how, the particulars of the plan. What am I going to do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis to make that a reality? I see a number of you requesting that document. I will be happy to share, either myself or my main man, Mike, will get you that document ASAP. So without further ado, now that my rambling is over a little bit, let's dig into what many of you came for, which is Texting Thursday here. So I'm going to share my screen. We'll dig into KV Core, and I'm going to do something that you may have seen me do before. You may have even done this before, but I think it's always a good thing to go back to and remind ourselves of things that work. In fact, last night we had a great post event group pizza and drink like party, and several things that were being shared were ideas that I've known of, I've heard of, I've done in the past and forgot about. One of them I've already forgotten again. But what worked a month ago, 3 months ago, a year ago, it's probably going to work again, right? And you want to keep playing the hits. The problem is, if you're like me, you have like entrepreneurial ADD, right? Always looking for the new shiny cool thing. But if you just put blinders on and keep doing the stuff that works, like, that's a good thing. So here's what we're going to do. I mentioned that I have actually 2 new listings. And there's a great new function in KV Core. Now, I realize not all of you have KV Core that may be watching this, but there might be some form or fashion, some way that you can leverage this idea, right? So find how you can take the idea and run with it. But one of the new functionalities in KV Core is if you go to listings and then you go to my listings, so meaning your own listings, and you click on the listing. I think I've mentioned this on a Texting Tuesday in the past, and if not, well, you're hearing it for the first time. If you click on this button right here, matching buyers, KV Core, their algorithm will go into the database and find all of the matching buyers for this listing. Now, this one doesn't have many because it's in an area that I don't do a ton of business in. I'm in a rural area, and this listing's about 45 minutes away from my house and where I concentrate more of my efforts, generally speaking, from a lead generation perspective. But it's still, it's still 13 people. I'm going to let these folks know about this new listing. So I'm going to grab this, and you'll see why I'm grabbing this MLS number in a minute. And I selected all of these. Now, this one here doesn't have a name, but I don't care. Who cares? We're going to click mass text, and I'm going to put that MLS number that I just copied. I'm going to put that down there, and I'm going to say also send the listing link. So what happens then is KV Core will send a text with the message that I'm about to populate in here, and it'll also have a link to the listing. And what I like about this is when they tap on it, right? So they'll get a text on their phone, and when they tap on it, it will take them into their, my IDX platform here, my website platform with KV Core, and it will let me know. You'll get an through their a behavioral automation notice of, hey, so-and-so has come back to look at listings. And why is that important? Well, those are good people to maybe do a follow-up outreach to in some form or fashion. Maybe you send them a video text message. Maybe you pick up the phone and actually call them, right? Maybe you send them a video email message, whatever the case may be. That is a great list to be following up with, because they're indicating through their behavior that, hey, maybe they're a little bit more interested, right? They're curious. They might be easily engaged at this point. So we're just going to go just listed. A great, let's see here. Great, affordable 4-bedroom with over an acre of land. Let me know if you'd like more info or a private. Thanks, Josh. Okay, simple, straightforward, to the point. And we're going to go ahead and just click send and send that out. Now, It doesn't stop there though, because I can go here. If I go to filters, and let's say I choose my agency listings. Okay, choose my agency listings, and I have to hit apply filters. Oh, that doesn't seem right. Well, that is raining on my parade. All right, well then let's go to all listings. Go to all listings, apply filters. Something's not right here. It's not updating. Bear with me. It's probably because the Wi-Fi here, the hotel is phenomenal. The Wi-Fi is not the fastest. Let's be honest. Let's see here. Why is it not changing the filters here? Well, maybe if I close out of it and open it back up. What I wanted to show you is the matching buyers function doesn't just work on your listings, right? You can pull any listing and send that, send a message like that and re-engage people in the database. So let's see, hopefully this will work this time. Oh boy, it's still not. Trying to think of how I can, something with the caching or cookies or something like that. Just even saying the word cookie is making me very hungry. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't want to cooperate. So I can't show you that, but here's what we can do. Let's go over to Smart CRM. And because I'm always looking for a workaround, here's what we're going to do. We're going to find I'm going to find a new construction property. I'm going to find a new construction property in my actual MLS, because if I grab the MLS number like I did with my listing, it'll actually populate in there. So I'm going to do that once again here. If this will ever open for me, if this will cooperate for me. Here we go. So I'm going to go search. And we'll go school district. I'll choose school district that I live in. And we're going to choose new construction. Yes. And then get the results here. And let's find a good one to run with. I'm going to go with Danbury. I know this community really well. I've worked with this builder before. Great to work with, et cetera. So I'm going to grab that one. Oh, you know what? That's only a 3-bedroom. I'm not going to grab that one. Nope. Let's find a different one. So let's find 4-bedroom. Oh, look at that luxury one. 800 could run with that. I'm not going to do the NRV. I don't really dig that. What's this one here? There's no photo available, so I don't want to do that one because I want the preview that shows up there on their phone to be, interesting and engaging, right? And kind of sell the click, sell them on tapping over to check it out. Let's check out this one here. Yeah, all right. We'll run with this one. I'm going to copy this. And I'm over in, back over in the CRM, and I'm searching by a hashtag to get a list to It's normally not this slow. It can get bogged down, especially when you have a lot of contacts in the database like I have. Don't know if it just reconnected to the same one or not, but let's button this up. Let's button this up, put a poll on this. Let me just make sure that it's still working. Oh, it did actually come back. Right on. All right. So I've got new construction here, and I'm going to filter one other thing. I'm going to filter by only new leads, which means they really haven't. And so we're going to apply those filters. And select all. Mass text for a new construction home in Cumberland County. Check this one out. Link that I'd copied there. Oh, it's not giving me the preview though. There it is. Oh, there we go. Also send that and let her rip. Okay. So teasing the kind of content, or not teasing, but using what they originally were interested in and requested information about is a great way to follow up. One of the campaigns that I'm running with the resource that I mentioned that's in the description, Street Text, is in a very rural county that's just north of list of homes that qualify for zero down financing, basically USDA, right? They qualify for USDA financing. Well, that would be a great list. I could pull that list if this wasn't if the internet, the Wi-Fi wasn't struggling so badly. I could pull that list and send them a property in the target area, like in the area that they were interested in. Hope you, oh, there was an issue queuing the text. I've never had that before. It must be because of. Hope you got something good out of this. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because the technical difficulties continue to mount, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you are interested in the resource that I mentioned, the document that I've put together with the resources, systems, and tools that I'm using to compound and grow, just let us know in the comments or send a private message, and we'll do our best to get that over to you ASAP. And if you're interested in, or open to having a conversation about what it might look like to partner with us, some of the amazing things that we're doing, and resources and benefits and access to mentors and business planning, just use josh15.com, josh15.com, and let's schedule a time to chat. I would love to chat, learn more about your business, and see if it makes sense on any level. So as always, if there's anything at all we can do for you, don't hesitate to ask. Have a great rest of the week and weekend, and hopefully